Welcome to The Actor's Choice, where the actors and actresses have a chance to talk about themselves and their careers. Join us now for the next hour as we explore the marvelous industry of acting by actors and actresses from today's exciting show business world. And now, direct from Hollywood, here's your host, Ron Brewington.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ron Brewington, and welcome to The Actor's Choice. Roll it, Tony.
I'm a single man, a neurosurgeon. I work 18-hour days, 6 days a week.
When's the last time you heard from Missy Bowers?
A few days ago. Was she on casualsugar.com? Missy? No, never. She's looking for a serious commitment. I'm not ready, so we're pretty much on her timetable.
My first guest today, ladies and gentlemen, is working extensively on the stage and screen since the age of 9. He later decided to follow his passion and return to college in Italy. He returned home ready to further his career in film and television. He's worked with a lot of fellow actors, Tom Hanks, Andy Garcia, Drew Barrymore, Dylan McDermott, and many, many more. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome actor, producer, soundtrack, Rafael Petardi. Greetings, Rafael, and welcome to The Actor's Choice.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, wouldn't have it any other way. Where were you born at, sir?
I was born in Montreal, Canada. Yes.
Nice little town. Nice little town.
It's a nice little town. I like it.
Yeah. What was it like growing up there?
Oh, interesting. It's a place where most people speak 3 languages. So you got the 2 national languages, English and French, and most of the ethnic people that grew up, whether you're Greek, Italian, Jewish, we all kept our own languages. So pretty much everybody spoke 3 languages. It was a very multicultural place with a lot of history.
Gotcha.
It was great. It was great.
What made you get into this business?
Well, I think the business got into me. It's like something that I kind of avoided at an early age. You know, I grew up with immigrant parents who are, you want to be practical in life, and that just didn't make sense to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried to follow a more traditional career path, professional, academic, that kind of thing. But eventually, I wasn't happy in the corporate world. It's something inside me. I got sick. I didn't feel good when I decided to pursue acting, which was my love, something that chose me. I would rather pursue something that makes me happy than be successful at something that doesn't. So that's how I got into acting. It got into me.
Gotcha.
I mean, who in their right mind would choose this profession?
I see you have almost 80 actor credits, as we say in this business. Not bad.
Not bad. Thank you. Is that it? I didn't count. Okay.
Okay. Let's talk about your first job that you got. Wata Ta Wo.
Oh, that actually wasn't my first job. My first job was a voice job that I did in Montreal. But then my first on-camera job was a mini-series called Rafael Petardi with all the Quebec stars, and that I had no idea. So I thought it was easy. My first audition, I got it. And I thought, oh, this is easy. And then I didn't work for 2 years.
What kind of roles do you like to do?
I like them all. I like variety. I like comedy. I like action. I don't like to do the same thing over and over again.
Gotcha.
Variety is fun.
Variety is fun. Okay. Mm-hmm. The year is 2023. There was I see here, you did a video game called Call of Duty?
Oh, boy, yes. I've done a lot of video games. I keep on doing that Call of Duty. I'm like in 3 or 4 of them. I'm actually working on one right now, which I'm not supposed to talk about, I think. I signed an NDA.
Enough. I did my homework. You did 12 of them. You started in 2011 with the same one, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare.
Yes, I do a lot of video games. I do a lot of voices for video games, with different accents and different characters, for sure. That's a lot of fun, too.
Yes, and with that voice you got, that video game, woof, woof.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Video game voice.
Okay. Before we talk to you about the film Depth of Field, we hear you are a food expert, specifically outsourcing natural ingredients.
Food expert. Well, I guess I prefer that to foodie. Yeah. I don't know if I'm an expert. I've just been exposed to food since I was a child. My parents, my father in particular, would take me to the farm and we'd go forage for mushrooms and we'd make everything at home to make the dollar last. So yeah, I carried on that tradition being in California. As you can see in the background, that's a granary with locally sourced mills. I have a mill here where I make my own flour. Yes, I have relationship with farmers, and I'm really much into regenerative farming and and eating well and treating the planet well.
Wow, a lot of fun. So you were chosen to play Charles in that movie, Depth of
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Interesting.
I was chosen. Yes. Well, I know before me there was some other star attached to it, and after several months, he dropped out. I'm not exactly sure what happened. This is what I heard. And then they called a casting director friend of them that's up in the past, somebody called Mike G, who suggested me for the part. This is what I hear, so you'd have to confirm with the producers and the directors. And we had dinner together, and at that time we had dinner together. They were feeling me out to see if it was someone that they would like to work with, someone who is not an a-hole, because you get a lot of that in this business. Okay. And that's how I got the part, through a friend, through a mutual friend.
It's interesting. You, the director, John F. Urande,
yeah, John F. Urande.
Interesting guy.
He is an interesting guy. Yeah, I enjoyed working with him. He gave me a lot of freedom. He trusted me a lot. That was really, really great. I really had a good time working with him. And Bobby Cloud, the producer, because they kind of work as a team. It was great. Although John is the hands-on, or hands-off, I should say, when directing, which was great. It was really, really great.
Find a little click. Roll it, Tony.
A little click? Oh, click.
You got a little voting. There you go. You'll see it.
Hi, I'm Bobby Cloud. I'm the producer.
Yes.
Of the field that we're showing here at FM. And I am John Urande, the director of the film.
Well, this film seems like a very bittersweet film. And where did the idea come from?
I'll be careful with it.
You'll get a chance to hear what they have to say. They talk about how they met each other and how the movie went on, and blah, 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 blah. What's the last I've heard is completed? Is anything else new on it?
It's doing the festival circuit right now. Yes. Been at a bunch of film festivals. We got nominated for a bunch of awards. We won some awards. So it's been a ride. The ride's not over, but this is fun. We got a distributor, so that's also exciting. I'm not sure of all the details of all that. Bobby and Jasmine and John know more about that than I do.
Okay. This movie touches the topic of deep personal loss. How are you able to bring emotions to the role?
Well, Ron, I think at a certain point in life, we've all experienced loss and we all had challenges in life. So I just draw my own personal experiences, like as we all have had personal experiences of loss, of grief.
Yes.
Yeah. Something I think we're all familiar with to some degree, right? I think something we're all familiar with at some degree.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Even if we did.
Life doesn't spare anyone.
Yeah. In fact, I just said it a moment ago to some of the people. The prince, not the prince, he's the king now. Got cancer. So
right. Yeah. Well, God bless him. Whatever he.
Carl Weathers. Got you. An actor named Carl. Just amazing things.
Yeah, I love Carl.
Yes.
Yeah, that was sad to hear.
Back to that movie. What was your favorite part of playing Charles?
Oh, there's a lot of parts, but I guess my personal favorite part about playing Charles is that he was a regular guy. He was just a guy, an anybody guy. I play a lot of different characters normally, and with accents and action films, things that are not necessarily everyday people. So Charles, my favorite part about being Charles is he was the everyman. Anybody can relate to Charles. Anybody could be Charles. And that was a lot of fun to do.
Did you know about the U.S. foster care system's current crises before playing the role?
No, I had no idea about this. Zero. I was actually quite ignorant about it. But through this film, I got to learn quite a bit of it. And I have a much deeper appreciation of that system and what they do. Also with John's personal experience, the director was a foster parent himself. So, yeah.
Interesting. So many things are going on in the world today. How did you feel about that little strike that went on?
Oh, boy. How did I feel about that strike? I'm glad it's over.
Yes.
And now we're all back to work. That's how I feel.
That's beautiful. Back to work. Oh gosh. Back when he said back to work. Oof.
Back to work. Yes.
Without giving too much of your favorite scene in the movie, can you tell us that?
My favorite scene, man. There's so many. These are always hard questions to ask. Like favorite. I mean, I love the whole movie. The whole thing was my favorite, but specifically,
Mhm.
I think no, there's no favorite scene. I like a lot. There's not one in specific. I like the whole movie. It was fantastic. There's just too many scenes to pick just one. The actors were all great. I loved every scene that I did with all the actors. They all brought so much to the movie. Ella who played my wife, and they who played the girl, Carrie, Jay. They were all fantastic. So my favorite scenes are the ones that I do with all the other actors in the movie.
Speaking of actors, you do a lot of script, I see, up on a stage. You love to get on that stage.
I do. I do. I actually did a play last year here in Los Angeles. That was a lot of fun too. I mean, I got my start in the theater. For
Uh-huh.
years and years I trained. But yes, I love the theater. That's where I got my start. I don't get back enough. But yeah, I did a play as recently as last year.
Wow.
Any chance I get, I will go hit those boards.
That's
Yeah, absolutely.
wow. I have a bone sometimes that I have to pick with some of my friends who, and not so other friends, who are they're actors and actresses. They'll do film, they'll do television, but they won't get up on that stage. Oh no.
Yeah, if I have the opportunity, I would. If I could just do stage, I'd be very happy with that. Like good stage. If I can make a living, I don't know if my agents would be happy about that, but if I can make a living just being on stage, I'd be thrilled with that. It's great. It's my favorite. It's fantastic. Nothing like that experience live with the audience. It's great.
In fact, the three guests that we have later in the show, they are coming out with a play, and
Oh,
we talk
cool.
about, what goes into a play and all the work that you do in it. And all that.
There's a lot of work in a play. Absolutely. Yes.
One part of the choice, I have to give you this question, sir. How does your role and depth of field differ from that of security chief Micah in Red Notice?
Oh, well, those are two different. Well, Red Notice is a blockbuster Netflix film with movie stars, and as much fun as that was, it's fantasy. It's a heist film, uh, and those characters really don't exist in real life. They're fantasy characters. Depth of field is a story that should really happen.
Yes.
These characters do exist. People can relate to that. It's not just entertainment. It's more of a hopefully cathartic experience for them, from the people that watch that.
Gotcha.
I mean, that's the goal.
Gotcha. Do you see your way down the line as a director?
Yes, I do.
Mm. That smile.
Yes, I absolutely do.
Tell us about it.
I've directed stage plays, but I haven't actually directed film or television film. So I would really love to get my hands on doing that, and something's in the works for me to do that right now. So hopefully by next summer, I will be directing and starring in another project.
Wow.
Yeah, that'd be great. Absolutely.
What you just said is one of the things that I always ask actors all the time, and that's what's next for you.
Of course. Well, at the moment, there's a couple of voice projects I'm working on, and I have another couple of projects in development. One is a reality show. It's a food show that we're trying to get sold, and film, the one that I'm telling you that is currently being written, and I would like to direct and star in that one. Yeah.
You always got something. That's the beauty of it, is that you're working. That's the beauty of it.
Yes, I'm working, and you got a bunch of projects at different stages, so you're always keeping busy. And you always got something to look forward to, and something that will develop into something else.
You mentioned FF film festivals. What is it about film festivals that you like?
One of my favorite things is meeting the people who make independent films. It's a chance to be with your own community, as corny as that sounds, but you're with like-minded, people. That's my favorite part, seeing other people's work in a communal environment.
Gotcha. Which film festival do you like to go to?
Which festival do I like to go to? Whichever ones the film gets in.
Last week, I had a lady who does a film festival, and we were talking about in 1935. That's when they had the first film festival in the world, and then
Really?
who came in
Oh, cool.
1946, and a few other ones came in, but they had over 9,000 at one time. Now they don't
Oh,
have
wow.
don't have that many anymore.
Well, there's still quite a few from what I've seen.
But not
Yeah.
9,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not 9,000.
Yeah.
I don't think I can get to all those anyway. That'd take your whole lifetime. Isn't that? Yeah, that'd be crazy.
I get the impression, sir, that you like what you do for a living.
I love what I do. I love what I do, which is like getting back to the question, how did I get into this?
Yes.
No matter what's going on, I love what I do. So even during challenging times or successful times, I love what I do, and that's the most important thing for me. Because life is short. You got to do what you love with people you love, and people that love to do what they do. Absolutely.
Like the way you put it. Above
Thank you.
Underground. Yeah, it's the difference.
Yeah, everything you do in between, and the people you do it with.
Anything else you want to talk to us about, sir?
No, I think that pretty much covers it for now. But thank you for having me. I really appreciate that. That was fun.
Wouldn't have it no other way. Jasmine Espada. I like that lady. She takes good care
Thank you. Yeah, she's great. She's fantastic.
In fact, Rafael, I most sincerely thank you for joining us today. Do come back again.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you. You have a great rest of your day.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Because I want to thank you, publicist Jasmine Espada, founder, CEO, Espada Public Relations, for having you here today.
Thank you.
To you, sir. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rafael Petardi. That was Ron Brewington. Roll it, Tony. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to let you know that we're asking our Actors Choice Squad to help us get former baseball player Kurt Flood into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Now, Kurt passed away January 20th, 1997, was the husband of one of our wonderful guests, renowned actress Judy Pace. So all you got to do is go to our Facebook or call our number at 213-349-3941. So if you have any questions, again, 213-349-3941. We most sincerely thank you for each and one of these part of being a magnificent award for a great football player. Okay? Okay. Roll it, Tony.
I had to get the Louis Vuitton handbag, I only want the absolute best for our baby. Don't you understand?
Money! Choose a career path and support yourself. What do you want?
I want a BMW. You have to look successful in order to be successful.
Success doesn't come from your parents bankrolling every whim, Bianca. You may think...
It may seem irresponsible, since I'm a stay-at-home mom and my husband's out of work.
That's why we're here with you, Anne. You can help us with that. You really need...
a real job!
That's why we're cutting you off. No more handouts, honey. It's for the best.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, my next guest today is an actress, a producer, and a writer. Now, she's got nearly 60 acting credits. Not bad. So without further ado, please welcome Arye Campos. Did I say that right?
Very close. Arye Campos.
Arye. Okay. Arye.
Yeah. It's a stage name.
Tell us where you were born, Arye.
Born and raised in São Paulo, Brazil.
Ah, there's a beautiful, I've never been there, but I've seen a lot of people go there, come back, and say, wow, had a great, great time.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful.
What was it like for you being raised up in that town?
It was beautiful. I mean, being Latina, it was a great way of kind of spending my childhood. São Paulo is very much of a big city, but we still have very much of the Brazilian culture in there. So you kind of get a little bit of both worlds. It's like the Latina New York, You have the tall buildings, you have the busy city, and, but you still have the Latino cultures, which is beautiful.
Excellent. So how many times have you been to New York? Let's put it that way.
I've been to New York, I would say like 5-6 times. Not too many, but a few.
Which ones you like better, the hot dogs or the food that they have down there?
Pizza, hands down. Best pizza in the world. I mean, come on.
That's that question. I was born and raised in New York City, so I had a chance to taste some of that good stuff.
Yes, I know. I love their pizza.
So, when did the acting bug bite you?
Very early. I started acting when I was 4. In Brazil, obviously. My mom said that when I was a kid, I used to like do commercials in front of the mirror, like, oh, this soap is so great or something. And then that I couldn't see a stage and I would just jump on it. So anytime we would go to like a theater or those like dinner theaters or whatever, even when I was like 3 or 4 years old, I would jump and start like dancing. So, fourth child looking for attention, I think. So she ended up finding an agency when I was very young. Someone found me. And so I started doing commercials. And then by the time I was 8, I was a series regular in a TV show in Brazil. So yeah, very, very, very early start to this career.
See, you got almost 60 credits. That's not bad, lady. That's not bad.
Thank you. Yeah.
Means you're working. You're working. That's beautiful. Your first role that I found on IMDb was called All of Us, a TV series comedy.
Yeah, so that was my first role here in the US because obviously the stuff in Brazil they didn't put in IMDb back then. But when I first moved to California from Florida, because I originally lived in Florida when I moved to the US, and then I came to California, my very first little thing that I got was a tiny little part in All of Us, but ironically directed by Debbie Allen, which was amazing. And it was a multicam show, which was like, if you've never acted before and you get to be in a multicam with a live audience, it's the most insane experience in the world. So like right off the plane, like within 2 months of being here, I got to be in this, really cool experience. That was really, really fun.
It's a great world out here. What you got to do is just ask questions.
Yeah.
Yes. Quick question. The education that you received, how'd you get it? Where'd you go to school, Ben?
So it's mixed, right? So in terms of education for acting, I started in Brazil. There's a school called Célia Helena, which is a very popular, very prestigious school. And I actually started there when I was very young. My mom put me in that school when I was, I think, 6 or 7 years old. So I started in sort of like a drama school for kids when I was in Brazil. And then when I moved here, I did performing arts high school, which is in Riverview, Florida. So we had a really strong performing arts program. And then I went to University of South Florida for theater. And then when I moved to the US, I continued through doing more of like the drama school approach. So I did Meisner for 2.5 years at Baron Brown, and then multiple schools after that, from Anthony Mandel to Leslie Kahn, Margie Haber, IDSA. So it goes on and on and on. So I feel like I'm always in the school, it feels like.
I love it when we talk about education. I'm a school teacher myself, and I love the fact of going there and teaching, but also learning. That's the beautiful part.
Yes, absolutely.
The roles that you like to do, what are they?
I mean, that's such an interesting question because I think it changes, right? So I really like right now, I really like playing strong women with vulnerabilities, right? Because I think there's something really interesting to kind of show both sides of being a woman, which is being powerful and being confident, but also that we're not perfect and showing the flaws and showing the vulnerability, which I think is so important. And I think shows, or rather roles that can kind of really dig into both of these dualities, I think to me is very interesting in sort of a broad sense. That's kind of what I love to showcase. But like I said, it changes, so we'll see.
Okay. All right. You are in a very unique story TV series on Prime Video called Passport to Freedom.
Correct, yes.
Tell us about that.
So Passport to Freedom is a beautiful story that's actually based on true events. A story about Aracide Carvalho, which was a Brazilian consulate clerk that worked in the Hamburg Brazilian consulate during the Nazi regime. So back in, she worked, I think, from 1937, 38, up until the early 1940s. And Aracide has a beautiful story because she was one of the few people that were able to help the Jews escape Nazi Germany. She would issue them visas as tourists to visit Brazil so that they could leave Germany and with essence move to Brazil. So it was and then obviously there's a lot more that goes into this, but she was doing what a lot of people didn't do, which is really help. It began of helping legally, but then as the rules change in Nazi Germany, it just got trickier and trickier in order to help these Jews leave Germany and start a new life in Brazil.
So why do you think this Holocaust story is not as well known as, say, let's say that of Oskar Schindler?
So I think, I mean, I couldn't tell you why, but I think because she affected a lot of people, but I think in a much minor scale, and we don't get to see sort of the snowball effect of that until you really start putting on paper all the people that she's helped and the families that she's now generated because of it. You know what I mean? So I couldn't tell you why. I think it's sort of like a little hidden gem that people don't know about. And I really hope that they get to watch this and get to know it, because it is, again, a very heroic story from someone that did it for no reason except to help people. You know, she had zero to gain from all of this. In fact, she only had risks from being able to help these people. And yet she still did it because it was the right thing to do, you know, and that's what's so beautiful about Aracy and her story.
I understand your role is also an LGBTQ character. Can you tell us about your role?
Yeah, so I play Tina Falada. Tina also works in the Brazilian consulate with Aracy. She's also a clerk at the consulate. And she's a good friend with Aracy. She's the one that's always kind of sort of helping her. She doesn't get involved in what Aracy is doing, but she knows what's going on, and she tries to sort of secondhand help as much as possible. However, one of the reasons she doesn't really want to get involved or is afraid to get involved, I should say, is because Tina is an LGBT character. She is homosexual, which, you know, back in those days is, you know, being gay was equivalent to being a Jew, essentially. You'd get the same punishment because that's how the Nazi regime looked at homosexuals. So she was never able to be open about her sexuality. And that's one of her fears that, you know, one of the reasons she doesn't help Aracy is because she doesn't want to be found, because if she does, she doesn't have diplomatic immunity, and she could very much, you know, end up in the concentration camps if they find out she's homosexual.
That's a hard subject. That is a rough subject. Wow. I understand, Ari, that we researched that some Brazilian historians cast doubt on the veracity of the story. What's your position on that?
So, you know, it's very interesting because a lot of people look at it as like Aracy was just doing her job, right? And if you really look into the records and into everything that she's done, she was doing way beyond her job. She wasn't just giving visas to any, you know, to whoever qualified, right? She was going above and beyond. And for people that didn't quite qualify, she was finding ways for them to qualify. She was helping them get in because, you know, back then they would tax you on all of your possessions. So you essentially walk into the country with nothing, no money, nothing. No. So she would help people bring their belongings undercover so that it doesn't get held up by the Nazi regime when they did end up going the ships and so forth. So she did a lot more than just put a stamp on people's visa, and she risked her life to do that. So I don't think she was just doing her job. I think she was going way beyond, and that's why it's such a heroic story, because she did do the things that weren't exactly legal, weren't exactly allowed by the Nazi regime, but it was the thing that was necessary for these people to be able to have a life when they did come to a new country.
Was it an all Brazilian cast?
Majority Brazilian. There was a handful of Europeans that were cast. There were people actually from quite all over the world. I mean, we had people from Germany, from Italy, from Israel, from Poland. And then we also had a few supporting casts from Buenos Aires, Argentina, because we shot both in Brazil and Argentina. So we did have a few cast members from Argentina as well. So we had quite of a primarily Latino cast with a handful of Europeans as well. It's very, very diverse cast.
Arye, I know your name is very interesting. Beautiful name you have there. Can you please tell us more about the origin of your name?
Yeah, so Arye is what we call a stage name, and I created Arye after my dad. So my born name is Ashley, which is interesting because nobody in Brazil named Ashley. It's like the most American name in the world. But in Brazil, it's quite unique, right? Nobody was named Ashley. So there's sort of a twofold thing to it. When I came to the US, And I realized that it didn't have the same uniqueness as it did in Brazil. I wanted to create something very unique for my career. And also because when I started acting again in the US, I was working as a financial advisor, and I wanted to separate the two worlds and have Ashley sort of be the business world and then Arye be the acting world, if you will. This is back when I used to do finance. But the main reason is my dad, his name was Ari, and he passed away in 2007. And I wanted to do something to honor him because 2007, ironically, was the year that I moved to Los Angeles to continue to pursue my acting. And that was the year that I lost him. So I feminized his name into Arye in his honor. So that's kind of how Arye came about. And I also found out, ironically, that it means lion in Hebrew, which I thought was kind of perfect.
Sounds good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You got a new movie coming out. She's Obsessed with Your Husband. It's on Lifetime on February 15th.
That's right. Yeah, She's Obsessed with My Husband. It's coming out this next week on Thursday on Lifetime Movie Network. And yeah, it's a really fun story about, my character. She is the wife, as we call it, and she is a little bit, she dresses down. She's a little bit more of a not of a outgoing, she doesn't feel gorgeous. And here comes her husband's high school sweetheart, who's a gorgeous model, who we don't know, I don't know, but she's been in love with him since high school. But at the time, he chose me for whatever reason that I could never understand. But she never got over that, right? So she decides to basically come back into our lives and terrorize our lives. And, here comes this model looking beautiful and nice. And I almost want to make her my best friend. So it's that little interesting thing about like, here's this woman who I think is like, why isn't my husband with her? And turns out she kind of cuckoo, and and she really turns our life upside down, and some crazy things happen in the process. So it's very, very fun. Lots of thrilling action, lots of going on. So keep you in your seats.
Gotcha. And you got the lead role, I'm told?
Yeah, so I'm the wife, she is obsessed with my husband. So yes, one of the female lead, that's correct.
Okay. We just happen to have a cut. Roll it, Tony.
Violet?
I'm sorry, do we know each other?
Yeah, I think we went to high school together.
Garrett?
Hey, honey, remember Violet from high school? She just bought this place.
I just don't get it.
Get what?
I don't get why you and Violet only did it for 2 weeks. I mean, the woman is a rock star. She's a total knockout.
So?
I love those 30-second clips. I love those. I love them. Get in, get out.
With brunette hair, look at that.
Yes. Arye, can you tell us without any spoilers?
The most I could tell you is a little bit what you saw, So here's this woman, and she enters our lives, and I think she's going to be my new best friend because I don't have a lot of friends, and I'm very insecure. But really, she's there for other reasons, and those reasons are basically to get me out of the picture, and she does crazy at that.
Final question, madam. What's next for Arye Campos? Arye Campos.
Yeah, so we have a few things coming out, which I'm really excited about. There's an episode on a TV show called Beyond Belief. I just shot a really, really fun role on SWAT that should be coming out in March. And then I also have my very first studio film that's in actually Portuguese, which is my native language, but I haven't actually acted in Portuguese for many, many years. And that's going to come out in the theaters in Brazil on the 28th, but they're going to eventually dub it in English and bring it to the US sometime this year. So that will be coming out as well. So lots of fun things in the books.
Oh, you're working. That's what it's all about. Arye, thank you so much for joining us today here on The Actor's Choice. And please keep it moving the way you do your thing, because please, we want to have you to come back again.
Thank you so much, Ron. I really appreciate it.
And please thank your publicist, Jasmine Espada.
Yes, Jasmine's the queen.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Actor's Choice. I'm Ron Brewington. Okay? Take it. Let's learn this one. Okay. Now, here's a question I have for everybody. Do you want to get into broadcasting? That's a very important question. That's haven't you ever thought about getting into broadcasting? A lot of people I know, including yours truly, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Different places have a way to get started. So I teach over at Santa Monica College. I've been there for over 20 years. Love it. And we can offer you the skills of broadcasting, announcing, and production. So I'd like to say, ladies and gentlemen. So that's me. When you're doing that broadcasting, you can ask me, look at those good people sitting up there. Look at some good looking people there. How do you get that? I don't know about it. Please call me 323-533-1036. 323-533-1036. Okay? Okay. Roll it, Tony.
The sun comes up, I think about you. The coffee cup, I think about you. I want you so, it's like I'm losing my mind.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have just witnessed a supreme living legend, a renowned singer and songwriter doing what she has done over the years, and that is entertaining zillions of people on shows throughout the United States, Europe, the Middle East, and the Orient. And so she's also a playwright. I don't know if how many of y'all know that. She is a playwright. She's written half a dozen stage plays to date, as well as 21 film scripts. Now they tell me when you get those numbers, you're doing fine. You're doing fine. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the marvelous Scherrie Payne. Hi, Scherrie.
Hi. Hi, Ron.
Good looking people with you. Oh, my goodness. Where do we
Hi,
go?
Raina. Hi, Trae.
Oh, indeed.
Good morning, young lady.
Good morning, everybody, on this rainy day.
Where are you at right now?
Where am I?
Huh?
What did you say, Ron?
I was asking Trae, where is he at? Where is he
now?
now?
Yeah.
Who, me?
Yes, I'm asking. I'm
in LA. I'm actually out on location right now, but I'm in LA.
Okay, good enough. Scherrie, as always, to see you, please tell us about your new play called 10 Good Days.
10 good years, not days.
10 days, my goodness.
Long time.
Just want to see if he was listening.
It's the rain, Rod.
It's the rain, it sure is. Yes.
10 good years. And it's about the title, 10 Good Years. I wrote this a few years ago, inspired by a personal relationship that I won't go into, but it's basically part of my life, but Reina Shaunte is just doing an excellent job portraying that. I'm so thrilled with her, and Trae as well. But it's about a woman who's in conflict, and she's a recording artist who had been successful, and her living boyfriend, who's an alcoholic and once a successful record producer, and they've been in a relationship for quite a number of years, but she's taken a downward spiral, and she feels that she only has, at the age of 37, she has only 10 good years left, and her career will be over because all these young singers are coming up and nobody will be interested in her. So she's a person who's really in conflict. She's very talented, but she has a poor self-image at this stage in her life.
What made you do this play?
Well, originally from a personal relationship. Actually, when I first wrote it, I wrote it as a musical, and 23 songs. And well, it tells part of my story. I think I was a little older than 37 at the time, but it does tell, I was around that age. It does tell part of my story, and how personal relationships, especially for a woman, if the man is not supportive and dragging you down, you become, you lose your self-confidence, you lose your drive, your zest for life. And in this play, it takes the friends that she has, her close friends, to bring her up, to let her know that she can do it. She's not too old, that anything is possible. If you believe in yourself, believe in your dreams, and don't give up. And so that's what it's all about.
It's interesting. One of the things I love about the plays is that if we get a lot of people, as you know, who work in this business, they come here from all over the world. They want to be a star. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And they come in here and they want to do film. They want to do television. But they don't want to get up on that stage. What's with that?
it's a frightening thought, but Raina or Trae can tell you about that more than I can.
Correct.
Acting, yes.
Well, I'm originally from Washington, D.C. I'm from the East Coast, so I'm used to theater. I love theater. Yeah. At first, the dream was to be on Broadway for me.
Yes.
So, yeah, I was like, I want to go to Broadway. I saw Les Mis, and I was like, that's it. That's what I want to do. Like, but then I got into I did a lot of theater in D.C., studio theater. I was at Signature Theater, and I decided to go back to school and learn more about it. But then I started to love film and TV. So that's what led me to LA. So, but musical theater, that's my thing. That's my jam for sure.
Sure. Trae, what do you got to say about it?
Well, I'm different. I just was looking in the paper. I needed a job, and it would say no experience necessary. So I had that right now. And just jumped into a life experience. But to answer what you were saying about the fright is that a lot of people see this when they watch their favorite people on TV or movies, and they're like, oh, that's easy to do because people tell them they're funny or they can do various different things.
Yes.
And even with the cameras, when the cameras come on, they freeze.
Gotcha.
So the difference is when you're doing a live play, like we all know, no stoppers, no cutting, there's nothing like that. And with the black audience, we're gonna boo you. You know what I mean? It's like the Apollo. Like, it's not like the white audience, they're like, okay, you might get a clap here and there. They're like, nah, boo, nah, he's terrible. And they will do that. So we're even more intimidating as a people, as a culture, for us. So yeah, people they don't want that stage.
Right. I used to be on these junkets that we'd go, and I got spoiled because when you go on a junket, the first thing they do is they put you in front of the screen, and as soon as you see the first video, you immediately zip because you take it. Yeah. But when you go to some of these theaters that you were talking about, yeah, they do get a little carried away with that. They really do. I got to tell you, Trae, I'm looking at your numbers here. 118 acting credits.
Ooh, wow.
Long time. Yeah, I've been out here for 25 years. I'm from Chicago, so South Side Chicago. So I was doing plays also at the Goodman Theater, and I love the energy of the aura of the essence of the crowd and everything. But yeah, I came out here in 98. My first job was Moesha, where I got my SAG card and all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, Scherrie, you wrote this play, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Who's the director and producer?
Don B. Welch. Donald Welch.
Right there. Yeah, that guy.
Dear friend, yes. Yes.
Don B. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Donald. Yay.
Godfather of Hollywood theater. That's what I call him.
Right. I see both you and Don B do very good work together. Plus, all the plays you guys have put out together already.
This is the third play that Donald is doing of mine. The first one was entitled "It Always Rains on Sunday," and then the second one was "A Lady in Waiting," which Tice Walsh was one of the 5 cast members, and 2 of the other ladies got a nomination from the NAACP Image Awards for supporting actresses. But yes, this is the third one, and Tice is in this one as well. 10 Good Years, and so I'm just so happy and thrilled that Donald said he wanted to do 10 Good Years, and I had written it over again as a straight stage play, but not a musical. But there is a little music in it.
Oh yeah, there's nothing wrong with music.
That's right. That's right. It's never too late to start over.
Right.
Plus, I can't sing, so she had to get somebody else, and that wouldn't have been.
Oh,
I bet you
God didn't want to bless you with that talent. God was like, I can't give you that. I can't let you be able to sing.
That's too much. That's too much greatness. You got looks, you got brains, you can't have singing too.
Can't let you sing. That's too much power for one man to have.
Get inside.
So funny.
Brianna, what was it like when you first got selected for this role?
When I first got selected, I was super excited. I really feel like I've been preparing for this role. I've had times like this in my life where, I struggled in a relationship and, you needed to really get your friends and get your camaraderie and start to really get yourself back together. I mean, this play is so good and it's so close to home for me. I really think it's about friendship, it's about forgiveness, and it's about finding yourself. So, I mean, I'm thrilled to play this role. I'm honored, really. I am.
And doing it so well too.
Thank
And I
you.
didn't know until I was over at my sister Frida's house, and my daughter was with me. Shoshana had come over, and she's a vocal coach, has a theater, I'm sorry, a studio in Studio City, La Voix, French for the voice. And I was telling them about the rehearsals and how well it's going. And I told her about the lead character, Reina Shaunte. She said, Reina Shaunte. And I showed her the flyer. She said, she's one of my students.
Yeah.
What? And Raina didn't know Shoshana was my daughter.
I didn't know.
She said,
It's
Raina
a small
can
world.
sing.
And
Yes,
LA
small
is
world.
smaller. I always say that. It's a small world, and LA is even smaller, honey. Everybody know everybody.
Oh, she said, Raina can sing.
So you know. So you know.
All
Definitely.
right. And she is
Trae,
going to sing.
Same question to you, sir. How did it
What
feel
about-
when they got you selected for the role?
Well, it was Don B. Welch, the legendary Don B. Welch, because I
Yes.
remember when like he was out here around the same time I came out here. He came out from Philly, and his first play that he put on was called The Bachelorette Party, and it was like a little small 50-seater, and it said Overbrook presents a Don B. Welch production. I'm like, I'm no Overbrook. I sound like Will Smith. And as I'm sitting in this 50-seater, there's only like 20 people in this theater because no one knows him, and behind me laughing is Will Smith. And I'm like, oh, he had nobody know nothing. His first, I'm like, oh, I got to meet this guy. You know what I mean? Just because Will Smith's behind me, he's backing him. And had to chase Don for like 3 or 4 years. If you get a chance to YouTube, Don's, he had a screening for a movie called The Divorce with Don Lewis. And I literally got on the red carpet, and when there's everybody talking about how great Don is, we come to see Don's plays and all that. Watch my interview. I'm like, I came because I'm always trying to support Don. I'm trying to show him I'm trying to support you. I want to work with you. So Don, stop playing, man. You see, because I went to his auditions. I had gone to his there was a showcase with Robbie Reed, the legendary Robbie Reed.
Oh yeah.
For 3 or 4 years, nothing. And so then finally he hit me like that next day and said, Trae, this is how you talk. Trae, this has to be the right thing. I know what you can do. And so from then we started. I did one of his small plays in the 50-seater. The theater isn't here anymore. But fast tracking to that, from that until 4 years after that, I earned the right to be a leading man.
Okay.
And he put me on stage with the legendary, the forever great Loretta Devine as the lead.
Yes.
So that was Yes, God is Real. So it was myself, Loretta Devine, Lettucey, Ernest Thomas. But so he allowed me to be the lead with Loretta. Like I said, live stage. You got to be believable because I'm playing her man / manager. So, and it's a pivotal thing where she has to choose between me and the career and her family.
Yes.
She had to go all these black women that love her and these men that love him. I have to convince them first that I'm in love with her, and then to make this change without being the bad guy. So and that earned me that strength. So I shout out to Don. So when Don told me about this particular play, because of Don, I'm able to headline my own play. So I'm touring my own play. And so Don's like, because we haven't worked in 10 years. That was 10 years ago.
I see.
10 good years, okay.
10 good years.
Honestly, yeah. Actually, I'm gonna send you the photo. So Don said, I got something great for you. And then I said, well, you always do, Don. So he sent to me, and he told me that Scherrie Payne wrote. I'm like, what? Because I always want to work with her and Frida anyway. You always want to work with legends and people of greatness. And I know Frida. And I'm like, so you sent me the play. Said, you only had a couple of scenes. I said, man, I don't care. I said, whatever it is, we're gonna make it great, man. And then so when I read, I'm like, oh yeah, I like this character. I like the arc that this character has. And so I'm like, yeah, you got me. You don't have to worry about, because like they said, yesterday's price ain't today's prices. So things are different. So you got to worry about paying what I'm worth. Now I don't have to do my own tours. I just want to be a part of this. So yeah. So shout out to Don and Sherry. Thank you for it, because she still had to approve me to be a part of it.
Yeah. Yes. This is my first Don B. Welch play. I didn't say that. This is my very first. This is my debut with Don. Yes. Wow. And so I'm honored. I really am to work with Sherrie and Trae. Trae, you killing it, bro.
Yes, he is.
Killing it. Yes.
Both of you.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be honest because people are always going to keep it 100. So I told Don, I said, well, who am I playing opposite?
Uh-oh.
I said, because I said, as my career being sincerity, I like, it's a trajectory. I said, we only got one time, less than a time to mess up. So that's people see me on one level, because I'm trying to rise. So I can't be on stage with somebody who can't. Can't go. And Don said, Che, you're gonna love her. I said, okay, Don. First day rehearsal, she went in. I mean, I was like, oh yeah, she gave me that Whitney vibe. I was like, okay, I like it.
Okay.
Come on, Whitney vibe. I love it.
Because it was another play that Don had me do. I played a pastor, and and Kelly Price was in that, and Ernest once again. And I told Don knows I really get into acting. I said, and I was really discovering God more. And I went out to Jerusalem, and I said, not for the play, but I've been this spiritual contact, and I'm like, hey Don, once I get on that stage, the spirit's gonna hit me. I'm gonna start saying stuff. He said, well, you tell Jesus we ain't got that kind of time. Just like that. You tell Jesus we ain't got that kind of time. You gotta get to what you better. They gonna charge me. So yeah, so being back to her, like I was like, okay. When I called him that night, I'm like, oh yeah, something called that. She's good. That's first day, so I already knew it was gonna go from there. So thank you for being good.
I've seen you, Trae, because I've seen just about all of Donald's plays, unless I was out of town, out of the country or something, and wasn't able to go. But I've seen all his plays. I just love Donald. He's such a phenomenal director and producer.
He is.
Yeah.
Oh.
Scherrie, let me ask you this: what's it like for you when you write a play and then you see it on stage with actors and actresses, and the play comes to life?
Wow, there's nothing like it. I think it's humbling. I don't know if I cried the last couple of times that when I saw the play up on its feet. It's and then Donna will call me onto the stage afterwards, and it's like, ooh, I just want to stay in the background, but it's humbling. I'm just so thrilled, and it's like coming to life. And you write it on paper and you've lived it for so long, but then when you actually see actors and they're emoting and they're feeling what you put on pen and paper or computer, whatever, they're feeling the thoughts and they're bringing it forward. It's like, wow. It's like, wow. It's I can't even describe it. It's overwhelming. So I remember it was at the Lady in Waiting was done at a small theater initially in North Hollywood, the Missing Piece Theater, I think that was the name of it. And I was sitting in the front row with Donald, and the actresses, I think maybe it was Thais who told me too, I'm in the front row and I'm mumbling the words, mouthing the words along with them. So if they missed something,
You wrote it. Yeah.
Realized I was doing it.
Gotcha. We're running out of time, but I just want to ask one quick question, and that is, how can I get some tickets?
It's all sold out.
No, we'll get you in there. No, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
we
we'll figure it out.
Put you right in the middle of the aisle. We're going to get you in there.
Okay. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for being here today. And as we always say in the business, break a leg. That's what it's
called. Break a leg. All right.
I can't
Praise
do it.
Jesus. Okay.
All right. God is good.
God bless you.
Thank you, everyone.
I'll see you later on, Trae and Raina.
All right. See you.
All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you. Bye, Ron. Thank you for having us. Love you. See you at the play.
See you at the play. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
We'll thank our sponsors, Harvey Brahman's Photographers and Art, Ron Irwin's Lose Life, Way to Lose Weight, Larry Buford's Book to the Future, Time Travel, Message in a Capsule, State Farm agent Carla Green, and veteran actor Rob Brownstein's Actor Training Facility and Actors Space. Much thanks to our guests today, actor producer Rafael Petardi, actress, producer, writer Arye Campos, actress, playwright, writer Scherrie Payne, actress, producer, writer Reina Shaunte, and actor, producer, director Trae Ireland. Actors' Choice is a presentation of B&B Productions. Rudolph Brewington is the president. Sydney Chandler is our executive producer. Special thanks to our ever-growing audiences, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Ron Brewington. Be well. See you next time.